Hi, so this is my last video log for the Boys and Girls Club. This is a pretty interesting week. I have always been with the 4th and 5th grade class, and I was surprised by how much I really got to know that group of kids and kind of rebuilt, or we kind of really built a good rapport. And over the weeks it was nice, getting to know them. This week I went with the next younger group, so I was with 2nd and 3rd graders. This was, interestingly enough, the grade I was hoping that the grades I would be working with, just because I have, a 2nd grader myself, and I thought it'd be really easy. But this was a pretty challenging group. 4 of them have, I guess, what you would call behavioral IEPs, and they were constantly having to be redirected. It was a pretty large group. It was the largest group that I had seen at Boys and Girls Club. And when I got there, it was like their normal teacher. She was pretty cool. She was going over rules with them, and because they were doing reading time, and they were climbing all over the place. It was a rainy day, so they hadn't been able to get outside all day, and they were pretty upset, and they seemed to just want to use up all their energy. But they also weren't being very respectful to one of the other teachers, so we had to go to this room and kind of go over all the rules, and it took a very long time. I don't know what I would have done if I was this teacher. Her name was Miss April. I just tried to help her out as much as possible. There was one girl, she kept on trying to leave. There was one boy that he kept on throwing trash on the ground, and so his mom came. I said, "You have to pick the trash up." And he said, "Oh, my mom's here." I'm like, "Well, you still have to pick the trash up. You can't just trash your school." And he just started walking away. I said, "That's fine. I'll follow you out to the car. I'll explain to her why you can't leave yet." And eventually he did pick the trash up, but he ended up throwing it down the hall. I was surprised. In my experience, this 2nd and 3rd graders aren't really like that. They just kind of do what they're told, and they are happy. And about 4 of these kids just seemed really unhappy. It was really hard to watch. It's too bad. But for my final video, I just want to talk about the experience as a whole. To be honest, I thought it would be easy going in there, and being a mother of 5 children, I would have thought I would have been a little bit more prepared by what I would face. My children we live in a really nice neighborhood, and they go to one of the best schools that Kansas has, and they're lucky, and they have parents that are always there, and these kids don't. So it's kind of interesting to see the differences between what an environment, how it affects kids at school and their friendships and their mood even. So I don't know. I'm glad I had the experience. I wish we would have done it for longer. I really wish we would have started earlier so I could have gotten to know some of the kids a little better. But main takeaway, kids are kids. They find joy everywhere. So all right, that's my last video. Thanks.